Are you listening? Damn.
Like some studio 5,000 days.
And the ball is loose. Third and 4.
Welcome to another edition of the AFC North Talk presented by True Classic. True Classic, upgrade your shirt game with True Classic. Shout out to you, Q. Tony is coming. We had Jordan. What? Jordan?
Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Just got a little B-dubs there, a little Buffalo Wild Wings. It was a little spicy. Had my guys doing snow angels out there. I thought the Bills were the number one pick. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl. They're not getting past the divisional round. Is that what we're doing out here? Josh Allen, man. I had to hear about Josh Allen this whole offseason. Like Joe Burrow ain't just go to a Super Bowl in the second year. Josh Allen couldn't even get past the Chiefs, even though we did. I don't know what happened from that. They were so scary. Those Buffalo Bills. Well, those Buffalo Bills are on the couch eating buffalo wings. I might be eating buffalo wings all week. Shout out to the Bills. Shout out to Jordan Poyer. Shout out to Josh Allen. Diggs pack is hitting. You already know what time it is. Send them refunds. Roger Goodell, send them refunds. It ain't happening. Q, tell your Cincinnati fans, it ain't happening. They're not getting that. They're not getting that Atlanta money. They're not getting it.
The Cincinnati fans get refunded for the Jaguars AFC Championship.
I don't know. They didn't announce that one. The media didn't come out and say, hey, we're selling all of these Bengals Jaguars tickets. Hey, come out with the press release on them refunds. Talk about that. Tell these people how they're going to get their money back. They don't want it on credit. They want that money back.
Cash.
I'm sure Ticketmaster will take care of them like they usually do.
Yes, Sirski. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Feeling very good.
There was two good games in the divisional round, right? The Kansas City game against the Jaguars was good. I mean, it's like the Pat Mahomes got hurt. Obviously, you don't want to see that. Then it was a blowout, and then another blowout, and then the last game. I mean, it was close in theory by score. I never thought that San Francisco was gonna lose that game.
Yeah.
That was the I can't take Dak Prescott seriously no more game. You know what I mean? Like for years I had taken Dak seriously. I'm like, no, he's a top 10.
Hold on, Sonny. What we doing, man? We gotta switch.
Oh, sorry.
Switch, my guy.
Sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
But for so many years, I was like, you know what, Dak, he is, and now I'm like, you know what, I got to take Dak just as seriously as I take Kirk Cousins, which is me. I don't take them seriously anymore. They were already the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have proven, at least in my lifetime, you cannot take them serious. They are not a serious football team. And then what they did, like, how do you get outclutched by Brock Purdy? How does that happen? How do you put together the most embarrassing drive I've ever seen a franchise quarterback have in that kind of a moment? Like, that was just that. If you would have told me Kirk Cousins was the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, I would believe you, because that's what it looked like. Did it not? Did that not look like Kirk Cousins, Sonny? Did that not look like Jimmy Garoppolo closing his eyes, throwing the interception?
They do call him the Black Kirk Cousins. I have heard people call Dak the Black
Dak.
Kirk
Really?
Cousins.
I never heard that one.
You know what though? He's not. He's more Derek Carr than Kirk Cousins, like play style wise, because like Derek Carr has all the gifts to be great, but refuses to use any of them. And Dak does the same thing that drives people crazy. But at least Dak has some success. But it's like, man, how long can we take this dude? He's 29, by the way. And quarterbacks of his caliber, most quarterbacks, they ain't good after 35. Like, really, they mid-30s is Russ is what, 33, and he looks cooked?
Mm-hmm.
I
wonder if Derek Carr will have that 1 year as a Matthew Stafford. You know, he gets traded. I mean, it could be this year.
He ain't that. He had his 1 year where it looked like people thought that he might be decent, and then he stunk after that. That was last year, right?
Yeah. Like, who did he lose to? He ran it to them Bengals. He ran it to Jermaine Pratt.
By the way, I would like to point out the Bengals have only beaten one elite quarterback, and even if they win the Super Bowl this year, that statement will be true in the playoffs.
So Josh Allen ain't elite?
Nope. Not after that. Nope. Trash.
Now, wait. I think that Josh Allen is good. I did call him the like a better version of Tony Romo. I did receive a lot of flack for that, for comparing him to Tony Romo.
You were right, because he does play like Tony Romo in the playoffs. We keep letting Josh Allen get away with murder, dog. We keep letting this man get away with murder. Okay, on national TV. How many turnovers did he have in the playoffs this year?
2? No, more. No, 4.
Yeah,
Total
more.
4, I think.
Yeah, that
Crazy.
Dolphins game, he had like what, 3?
He was the only reason they almost lost that game.
Yeah.
He was the only reason they almost lost that game.
But I literally said this, right? Like Josh Allen is a guy, he's 50-50, right? He comes a day and he will make spectacular plays. So you cannot take that from him. He will make
yeah.
but then he also will F it up. Like he has both sides.
He's got that Jameis in him. He's got that Jameis Winston in him. He's got it. He's got it.
He's a lesser talented. He's a poor man's Cam Newton. I said it.
No,
Get mad at me all you want, chat. I said it. He's a poor man's Cam Newton. And you know what? Cam at least got an MVP. Josh Allen, unless y'all try to make it happen, it ain't happening.
Well,
He's MVP in the league, in a league that has Patrick Mahomes and Joseph Burrow. Come on now.
It looks like Josh Allen right now peak, right? And think about how
he's been regressing since 2020.
Well, to be fair to Josh Allen, he was okay rookie year, right?
The only reason we hype him up is because he stunk once, and now he's not stinky no more. That's the only reason we hype up Josh Allen.
Well, the jump
That
that he took,
Wyoming Josh, I heard they call him Wyoming Josh when he throw them picks.
He's been Wyoming Josh for like 8 weeks.
yeah, the latter part of the year, yes. But I guess what I was gonna say is when Stephon Diggs shows up to Buffalo, that was like his best gift, right?
Yep,
he exploded. Sure. He was amazing. He got paid, right? And then the following year, still really good. And then the question with Josh Allen that I have, right? And then we'll get into Super Chat soon, and we'll get to the game. But the question that I have with Josh Allen is, as now his contract is hitting that cap, right? And now, like his O-line, look, to be fair, we'll talk about this. The Bengals O-line was the most hurt, but that O-line for the Buffalo Bills wasn't that good. And it's not like they were hurt. And how they can get better, I don't know, because unless you draft, like, and you hit on that draft picks, it's not like they're gonna have a lot of money.
Oh, they should move Josh Allen to left tackle.
Sonny, they never talked about the 7 sacks that they gave up the week before. It was all about the Bengals offensive line, not about the line that gave up 7 sacks. Let's talk about the Bengals.
And also, because I was thinking about this, Cube, I haven't checked out the stats. I need to check out the stats. I want to see the stats of Q's boy, Rousseau, after Vaughn got hurt. Like, I know early in the year he was good. And this is a guy that I, like Q, didn't like. And I actually didn't like Phillips. Phillips, for me, I've been surprised by Phillips, right? Miami.
You know what? They looked decent when they was being carried by Von Miller. I'm back on the slander. I'm back on the Gregory Rousseau slander. You had me for a minute. But no, look at those numbers once Von Miller went down, and all of a sudden it became the putty crew out there at that defensive line. The booty boot crew. The booty Buffalo Bills. Okay? Nah, just trash. Okay? Y'all was a team that got carried by Von Miller and a poor man's Cam Newton. This is 2010. This is a good team in 2012. You know what I'm saying? But now, nah. Buffalo Bills. I said it. Look, this was the Clippers versus the Golden State Warriors in the second round of like 2015, and the Bills just became the Clippers. You notice Josh Allen slander has been on an uptick, and I'm okay with this. You know what I mean? I'm okay with the uptick. Like
the only Gregory Rousseau highlight I remember is him chasing Joe Burrow out of bounds. That's the only time I think he chased him.
Yeah, you know what? Von Miller fooled me, Ace. I thought Von Miller was out there, and it made Gregory Rousseau look like a better player, but same old slow ass Gregory Rousseau. Shout
I
out.
remember that.
Von Miller gave him that replica Super Bowl trophy. What happened with it? That's the only trophy them boys getting this year. That's the
Well,
only
he better act like it's the one from Denver.
I remember that draft class, right? Because the Ravens needed a pass rusher. We were here. We did a
Yep.
stream here, and
We
I
did.
was I was honest. I did not like Gregory Rousseau. I did not like Phillips. I actually didn't like Odafe Owe. Odafe Owe actually had a decent first year, at least
That's
for my
underselling what Sonny felt of Odafe Owe.
and then he went down.
Sonny did not like Gregory Rousseau. He wasn't a big fan of Jalen Phillips, but he really did not want
like
Odafe Owe.
No, that's truth to be told. There's videos of that, right? So when they drafted Odafe Owe, I was not happy, but I remember Ravens needing a pass rusher. I did not like most of these guys. I'm like, damn it, we want a pass rush. None of these guys like that's for me. They prove it. Like obviously, I'm pulling for Odafe Owe to have at least what he had his rookie year, if not better. It's definitely sad this year. Like all these guys, like I said, Rousseau had a like. I remember the first quarter of the year he having a good year. I wonder when Bond left if the numbers taper. Again, I haven't checked.
I don't know. I might
They
be
went to like
trolling on that one.
27th. They went to like 27th in pass rush win rate after Von.
After Bond. Crazy how good Bond is, right? Like think about that for a moment.
You know what, Ace? You bring up a great point too. I know Buffalo fans ain't complaining about the snow. I know Buffalo fans ain't complaining about the snow. I know they ain't complaining about the snow. That's one thing I'm like, oh, now the snow game, because like, when it was a snow game, we got Josh Allen, he's going. But now we blame the snow.
When it was a snow game against Miami, who was also wearing white, they didn't seem to have a problem locating those dudes in the snow.
That's crazy because like it's not like that game was close either. Like the Bengals were not losing that. Like here's what I have to say about the Bengals in that game. They came into that game determined to not lose, and they did not lose because they just felt like they weren't going to lose. And that's where that first quarter in the Monday Night Football game I think played a hand because they were like we were moving the ball easy on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we felt like we could just do whatever we want. And that's what it was. They were doing whatever they wanted on offense. And man, whenever Buffalo scored, it took so much effort for them to score. It looked like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, it looked like it was like, you ever watch Alabama play like Mizzou or something like that? Like they're a decent team. They can compete. But Alabama just has more in their arsenal than whatever team they're playing. That's what it felt like. It was like everything that the Bills did, it just felt hopeless because it's like Cincinnati has more weapons than you. They just outgun you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there was nothing they could do about it all game. Joe Burrow didn't have gaudy statistics. And this isn't, I would even say this is like one of Joe Burrow's best playoff games. Like, I think he's played better when he's had to, but he didn't have to do anything difficult in this game. It was just all there right in front of him. Very easy. That being said, I do stand on what I said. The Bengals have only beat one elite quarterback in the playoffs with Joe Burrow, and that will not change because the only one they could beat is the one they already beat, so it don't count. And whoever comes out the NFC, which we both agree, we not call it Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy elite. Tony might call Brock Purdy elite. That sounds like something Tony would do. Tony, you gonna do that? I don't know if Tony's here, but that's something Tony would do.
The other thing, last thing I would say for Buffalo's sake is we all knew that they couldn't run the ball, and it was going to be hard against the Bengals. The Bengals are a good running defense, but that running game is bad. And when I did hear some of the complaints about the snow, and I'm like, y'all know where you play. It's not like, oh, surprise, I play here, and then
or there
build
could
a
have
dome.
been a neutral field, right? There could have been a neutral field. Who said they didn't want that? Oh, now you want a neutral field. Oh,
could have built a dome. You know what I mean? They decided to build a whole new stadium with no roof on it. Why?
My point is, how can you not have a decent running game where you play, right? That is something they go into the offseason they need to figure out. Anyway, we have a bunch of super chat. We appreciate it.
They put too much on their quarterback, and their quarterback ain't that good.
The craziest thing was these people were telling me we were a one-dimensional team. Like we couldn't run the ball. Like we don't have Joe Mixon, and you have James Cook and Devin Singletary. Like you really thought you was about like Josh Allen got like 80% of your rushing yards, dog. Like without Josh Allen, they're like 27th in the league.
Yeah, yep. Okay, we have a bunch of super chats here. We're gonna go with Who They Joe Power says, told you Q. Tony,
Nah, you gave
Bengals
up
have a
17
top
points to
10
Tyler
defense
Huntley. You're not a top 10 defense of all
All
time.
time.
It's just
All time.
nah. Tyler Huntley had how many points against? Nah, like if Tyler Huntley scores a touchdown, it's not a top 10 defense of all time against you. Like that just is how it works.
all time is a little far. It's just a bit far.
It might be one of the better defenses in the league this year.
This year, yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
definitely for
All
sure.
time.
All time. Like I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what we're going to be highlighting this Bengals team. That's what we're going to highlight on this Bengals team if they win the Super Bowl. Not saying it's a bad unit, but like we all know who we're going to be talking about if they win the Super Bowl. T. Higgins.
Well, I would say I will say this. Also, hi everybody. I'm joining from the car. I apologize. Starting a new job. I have to go back to the office. I think this is an all-time. I'll put the Bengals in all-time willpower team. Like we talk a lot about talent and like who the most talented players are at their positions. The thing that stood out to me with the Bengals, and Q, you touched on this, right? They went out there determined not to lose. The Bengals made the Bills look soft. You know, we talk about like the snow game stuff. There's no doubt. I think anyone who follows the game on Twitter, everyone was saying this at the time, and it is absolutely true. The snow absolutely helped the Bengals because the Bills didn't want to be there. I mean, there was a point in this game where it looked like the Bills were almost a quit team in a playoff game. I mean, how many times defensively did you see the Bengals and what is an offensive line that we can criticize their talent? We can criticize the talent of that Bengals offensive line, but you can't criticize their will. They dominated a bunch of first round and second round talent players out there for 60 minutes in their house. Right? They went into their house. Yeah, that's right. And by the way, I heard you guys taking the Gregory Rousseau victory lap. Knew it was coming today, and absolutely should, because I mean, look, yes, it's a 1-game sample size, but this is a game. The whole storyline. If you would have told anyone going into this game that the more physical team is going to win this game, I think the majority of people would have told you, okay, that probably means that the Bengals lost this one, right? Because we talked a lot about this all week about how, well, it's going to be tough. Are they going to have to run quick game, right? Are they going to be able to run the football? All these problems with the offensive line, yada, yada, yada. That looked like Alabama versus Cincinnati last year in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
it was like an absolute
It was like watching the Patriots. That's what it reminded me of. Like when the Patriots would just be like inevitable, and you would watch them, and you'd be like, somebody do something to make this game interesting. The Patriots were like, nah, we're just going to score. Like we're gonna go up 21. We're not gonna take any chance in this getting interesting. Any third down that got interesting, I don't know. We'll just simply throw a touchdown to Jamar Chase. That's simply what we'll do. Mm-hmm. They get the one thing overturned, they get the stop, they score a touchdown. Like it was like inevitable. They were going to win this game, no matter what the conditions. They were going to win it.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to my brother who tried to stop me from live betting Bengals -6.5 in the first quarter when I said the Bengals are going to win this game easily. And he said, no, it's too early. Don't bet it. You owe me. If he's listening to this, Brian, you know who you are. You owe me money, bro.
So with that being said, let's read. Let's read a bunch of super chats we have. We appreciate it. Make sure you like this video. That helps a lot. Till T. Martin was drafted before Brady in 2000. Okay. By the way, I saw.
Do you know who drafted T. Martin?
No, who? Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
You want to know who went like 5 picks before Tom Brady? Spurgeon. Shout out Cleveland Browns.
I was gonna say I saw the ultimate troll.
Could have had them both.
To the Cowboys. Some Eagles fan said that Jalen Hurts was born 2 years after the last time the Cowboys made it to the NFC Championship, and he was in that time he graduated college, he was born, he did all this stuff, and the Cowboys still haven't made it to the NFC Championship. What a great troll! I enjoy that one. Okay. Here from Professor Chaos says, Q, I think Bills Mafia deserves a sorry for that. big booty beatdown curse.
Here was the beauty in the big booty beatdown. Yeah, I couldn't lose. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the Bengals got to the second round, sure. Well, to the AFC Championship game again, sure. But I don't really like Bills fans like that, Raven
Around here says, please, Bengals win on Sunday. I'm betting on them. I want them to go to the Super Bowl 0-0-0-0. Yes, because
the Bengals are like
going for trolling.
Okay. So you do got us in the Super Bowl, though. Right, Raven Ron?
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Hey, check private chat.
Yep, that was dealt with. Okay, so Bengals will be 14-point favorite, like Super Bowl 36 versus 49ers.
The Bengals feel like Brock Lesnar. They just came in there like everybody's feel good Bills. It was like, nah, dog, Suplex City. Yeah. Like, that's what that game felt like. It felt like Brock Lesnar suplexing the living soul out of John Cena at SummerSlam 45 times in a row. That's what that felt like. I was like, oh wow, this is not going to end. This is what it's going to be. Okay. All right. I guess Joe Burrow's the world champion now. Like, give him the wrestling belt. Like, damn, that was insane. The domination they did over a Bills team that everybody thought was pretty good. Like, it's gonna make people reevaluate the Bills, dog. That's what they did to them. And if they beat the Chiefs, if they beat the Chiefs,
the 90s Bills again.
The 90s Bills at least got to the Super Bowl, before they choked all them games away. This is discount 90s Bills.
January Josh, the streak is still alive.
They are Lob City Clippers of football. That's what they have turned into, dog. They are Blake Griffin equals Josh Allen. That's what's going on. There was a world where Blake Griffin was seen as the bigger superstar than Stephen Curry. Sounds crazy right now, don't it?
Yeah, I remember that world. Dak Prescott equals James Winston.
Dog. James has more passing yards than Dak. I'm just saying. Like, James is threw for 5K before. I ain't never seen Dak do that.
4K. Okay, Q.
Now he's also thrown like 35 interceptions this season before.
Hey, this year, if you would have given Dak a little bit more time, he was throwing picks left and right at the end of that year. This year.
Yeah.
Q.
You're doing the whole he ran out of time thing. He didn't throw the least interception. He just ran out of time. That's all. I like that.
Didn't he miss like 5 or 6 games this year?
By the way, how sad
at the beginning he missed like 3, I think.
By the way, how sad is it watching Ezekiel Elliott? Like, it's sad. It's like, man,
he's done.
He ain't got it. It looks he be running so slow out there. I'm like, is he jogging? Nah, he's running as hard as he can. He just can't move like that no more.
They thought, he's running so slow. They thought he was a lineman, put him in center.
And he got at least one more year left on that deal where they can't cut him.
Play, wasn't he? Wasn't he a lineman on one play?
Yeah,
the last play they trolled him. They trolled him.
Yeah,
they ran a flag football play.
7 yards per carry. That was nasty.
He should request a release. He should request a release based on that play alone.
Dude,
I saw that play get ran out there, and I thought my eyes were deceiving me because I'm like, why? Yeah. What is it? Like, how many wide receivers do they have? And then I saw the replay. I'm like, no, they had all their linemen out wide to block. Like, I don't know what they thought was going to happen there.
It's a McCarthy special. Q, how did that 38-point Evan Mobley game feel?
Felt good. Felt damn good.
Everybody here said A's don't show the Bills. Y'all about to be 0-4 with them. And then One Blue says 0% chance you make money if you took my advice, Eric Weddle.
No chance. 0% chance.
Bills plus 5.5 was the freest money Vegas has ever given out. I appreciate it. It's like one of those can't lose bets that you get at like a sports book where they're trying to recruit you. That's what that was. Bengals plus 5.5 was absolute free money. Yep. So I'm sad I didn't put more on it.
Kenny will be the Pennington of 2022. Brock Brady.
Oh, so he's saying that Kenny Pickett's going to be the dude they picked in the first round. No, okay, let's stop this.
Purdy, man.
What is ridiculous about this super chat is comparing Kenny Pickett to Chad Pennington. That is much too high for Kenny Pickett. Okay,
you sure? It's not. I don't think it's high enough.
Okay,
it's not high enough.
You know what I mean? Chad Pennington, like, come on now.
I'm with Pony. Have you guys seen Pony's tweets this weekend? Pony's been tweeting through this Burrow thing, and it's been just great. Tony's on fire again.
I haven't seen Tony's
Last time I saw a tweet
He's
of
having
his,
a
he
love
was
affair
jealous. He
with,
was like, "Man, you
Joe
just
Burrow.
gotta love Joe Burrow." And then everybody,
Yeah, well,
was
then
like,
but then he goes right into, here's the thing about Joe. Kenny's got the same skill set. And, next year,
for the
Kenny's going right into
chest,
that Joe Burrow
for the
stratosphere, boys.
chest.
No, he's right. Listen, and Pony's right on this
He
one. You know
was-
what I
he
mean?
was-
Pony is right on.
He was pumping Joe Burrow to sell, Schnorrel and pull the rug. That's smart. That's a smart scam of Andrew Filipponi,
That's right.
Okay, one blue here says, what percent chance do you have of Luomarumu coming back next year, Ace? I haven't heard of any head coach interviews for him.
Lou was coming back, dog, and I said it. He was going to put on a master class this weekend against Josh Allen to show the league that he was mad that he didn't get an interview. Only person that interviewed, I think, was Callahan, but that's bad news for the rest of the NFL. Lou Anarumu is coming back to the Bengals as the defensive coordinator. Same guy that just made Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes look foolish. Go ahead, NFL. Don't give him a job. We'll take that. We'll take it.
Harmon here says they gotta play us. Ace
Gotta
will
play
live
us.
number 9. Who they?
Whew.
Oh, you hear that the Broncos have decided that they want to go all in on Sean Payton. Sean Payton.
No, I
has
didn't
not
hear that.
decided. Yeah, the Sean Payton has
How
not
though? Because
decided.
don't they want a first round pick? Don't they want a first round pick? Do the Broncos have first round picks?
2024. Remember, you can do
trade
3
2024. Okay, yeah. So they,
and,
they're gonna make this Russell thing worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I
Yikes.
hope they do it.
yikes.
I hope they
Apparently,
do
they
it.
want a first and a second. A first and a second.
That's for a coach.
Yeah. So I wonder if
Coaches
they
are
get the 2024.
hot take. Coaches aren't that important. They like it's
How
Sean
much
Payton
did
not gonna take
the Bucks get for Gruden? It was 1 first for Gruden,
No, they got more than that. Hold on.
or they had to give up. Sorry, they had to give up 1 first for Gruden, right?
That's drunk.
Gruden trade. Gruden.
Are we even sure Sean Payton's still like good?
I don't know.
Well, we know he's better than Nathaniel Hackett. We'll say that. That much
you
is
can
true.
you can hire Greg Roman to be your head coach. He's better than Nathaniel Hackett. That don't mean much. Okay.
You're not wrong.
It was draft picks and $8 million.
2 first and 2 seconds.
For Gruden. You found it?
Yeah.
Okay, and $8 million.
Raiders received 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and $8 million for John Gruden.
Well, they got a Super Bowl like the
Yeah, they got a Super Bowl. Look at the defense, dog. They was gonna win that Super Bowl. You think it was John Gruden's offense?
No, okay, but I'm just saying.
With Tony Dungy on that staff as a defensive coordinator?
Brad Johnson was great that year. Brad Johnson was legitimately very good that year.
Oh, come on now.
Are we talking about sending Josh Johnson?
I feel like Tony Dungy had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I just something tells me Tony Dungy had something to do with it. I guess 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for John Gruden.
I wonder how much the Broncos will go. We'll see. Anyway, Dallas
That's
will be
drunk. That is drunk.
okay. Dallas will be permanent neutral field, so the Dallas fans can at least see a conference champion.
All that money for Jerry's World just to be sitting at home. Whew, can't relate.
The crazy part,
Can't
Ace,
relate.
it ain't like they just missed out on having a conference championship at Jerry World. It had been like 10 years since when they had built Jerry's World that a conference championship game had been hosted at Cowboys Stadium. I'm just saying. When are we gonna start treating the Cowboys like the Minnesota Vikings? Because like they're just as relevant as the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, Garnett here says, from the bottom of my heart, that I have the most love and respect for Ace. I remember when the Bengals were in a recession and he was humble and finally evolved and he still stay humble. Garnett, just watch the beginning of the shows. You must win.
There you go. Now I'm telling you, dog. Humble Aces. Don't let the Bengals get a Super Bowl. Don't let the Bengals get a Super Bowl, dog.
Y'all think he humble. Y'all don't deal with this man in the group chat. Okay, everybody think he humble. Y'all don't deal with this man in the group chat.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. Ace is fine. He's fine. I mean, if we compare him, Q, to the Bengals fan as a totality, Ace is like one of the most humble guys you will ever meet.
I mean, he's not exuberant as like Zim Hude, but like, I mean, he's just a different person than him. He got his own ways of expressing his confidence in his Bengals, though. He's very confident in his Bengals. The confidence is similar. The way of expressing it is just different.
Drew here says, Tony, I know you were dying laughing at that Chargers wildcard game. We all were. I mean, I didn't watch it live, but when I woke up, I said, LOL. This is so Chargers.
Chargers gonna choke.
Yeah. Terrell here says thanks.
We take the Chargers. The Chargers NFC counterpart, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, like, don't they do the same things?
Yeah. I mean, every year they come with a lot of hype. Like,
you know what happened? Ace? The Bengals used to be like, oh, okay, this is the other Chargers in the NFL. But then the Bengals have stepped firmly out of Chargers territory. They're not even close to that anymore.
Because think about the Chargers.
The Cowboys saw you drop that and was like, hey, I'm going to pick this up right here. Chargers in the NFC.
The Chargers are even worse because Dallas went from Tony Romo was like a mid to like just above mid quarterback. I think that Prescott's about that in this league, right? But
he's top 15.
Yeah, but I was gonna say Philip Rivers. You can argue he was definitely like a top 10 quarterback, right? During his around there, 10, 12.
Having top 8 quarterbacks in San Diego and LA,
and then you
don't do anything with them.
That's what I was gonna say. Then the transition, like they were so lucky. They were go from Philip Rivers when he was obviously at the end of his career, to Herbert, a good quarterback, good young quarterback, and they still gonna do the same thing. Doesn't matter who's the quarterback.
I mean, I would say Herbert is better than Josh Allen.
I wouldn't disagree with that statement. Okay.
I once said Herbert was better than a 30-year-old Big Ben on this channel. Tony told me he'd still rather have Ben.
Let's not revisit any other takes from that year.
Do y'all think that Jamar Cat, what's the TD? I don't know. I watched it on the letter. The rule's so dumb. Like, does it look like a catch? Yeah. I understand why they reversed it because it did move a little bit as he was going out of bounds. So I actually think it was the right call. I just don't like the rule. But
they're just not consistent with it. Like, if you're going to call it a certain way, just call it that way. But when they're inconsistent, kind of causes confusion. People don't know what a catch is anymore.
Well, it got ruled a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, if you ruled that on the field, a incomplete pass, okay, I could see it. But like to rule that from a touchdown to an incompletion, I didn't feel like the recapture of the ball was egregious enough to do that, where usually in that scenario, it's obviously evident that he hit the ground and the ball bobbled or something happened. And we probably got to decide, like, if the ball gets forced loose by another player, is that the same thing as the ball not being secured? Because usually it doesn't matter because the other player is not really there. But what happened on that play was the ball got moved loose by like another player.
No. He was moving. It
was moving, but like the guy yanked his arm or something like that. He moved them, and that's what moved the ball loose a little, or moved Jamar's hand so the ball moved with it. And that's where I was like, I don't know. We have made so many rules that we have not made rules for the rules within the rules, and now we're just in trouble.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
It was better when we was just calling it all vibes. You know what I mean?
Super Bowl 36, Brady upset 14-point favorite. Rams repeat.
Oh, now you on the Brock Purdy train. I thought Joe Burrow. Oh, so it's Brock Purdy is the new Brady. I got you.
Why can't we just be reasonable about things like Brock Purdy? Why do we always have to be
Purdy
like
hype, man?
Like we can't ever just be like, hey, Brock Purdy, he might be a decent quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. We got to go straight to. This is reminding me of Tom Brady.
The only thing you should be talking about Purdy, because it's unfair to put very high expectation like that on Purdy, is damn that Trey Lance kid. I think he should start updating his resume.
First round picks they traded for him,
and whatever they're gonna get for him, a second at most, a third maybe.
First round pick, 3 of them.
I know.
And everybody want to talk about what we traded for Deshaun Watson. At least Deshaun's played 6 games. You know what I mean? How many games did Trey Lance played? It started in San Francisco. Is it more than Deshaun has played? Being suspended 11 games of his total time with the team.
I think he has 3 starts, right? Overall,
that's crazy. Deshaun has 2 times more starts than him.
And I think he started twice last year, and then
wasn't he drafted in 2020?
Not last year, the year before.
Nah, 2021.
So when he got drafted, this is when Deshaun Watson started his whole I'm not playing for a year. Deshaun that's crazy that 3 first-round picks, and he might not start again.
Appreciate
for
the 49ers for passing on Jamar Chase that year. Appreciate that. Shout out to y'all.
How do y'all feel about the overturned TD and the overturned fumble? It's even worse when they are called on the field and then reversed afterwards.
The fumble to me was a fumble. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think they was expecting Mike Hilton to hit that man like that. But to me, that was a fumble. It's another thing that they just got to be consistent with, man.
Mm-hmm.
They have similar plays. They call it this way one week, they call it another way the other week. They gotta tighten up.
I need the Bengals as a 49ers so badly. I'm hoping it's at least the Eagles. That will be a better game. Gotta exorcist those teams. It's the dream matchup.
Hey, can I say something about the?
You gotta do that. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. I just want to touch on because you mentioned the incomplete pass. I said on Twitter, a lot of Bengals fans were like, "See, even if Tony's saying if Tony's saying it, then it must be true." Look, that play. This is the problem I have with the National Football League, right? How many years ago was it the Calvin Johnson play where he used the ball to get up and that started the whole what is a catch thing? How many years ago was that? That must have been 15 years now, right?
Yeah.
Must have been 15 years.
Well, he's in the Hall of Fame now, so he is.
Yeah, we are 15 years into what can only be described as a debacle by the National Football League. Right? An absolute debacle. We have gone 15 years with what is a catch? What is no one knows? Can anyone here describe? Can any super chat right in and let us know what is the definition of a catch? Because every day and every year and every game that I watch, we decide, what is going to the ground? What is a football move? You have to have, one knee equals 2 feet. One elbow equal. What is? And this has been going on forever and ever.
We should go back to just calling it off vibes like we used to. That's what it was. It's it felt like a catch, touchdown.
Listen, honestly, that would be far better than what we do today. That everyone watching that game knew. Every single person watching that game knew. Jamar Chase caught that football. That's a touchdown. Everyone knew it watching, right? It's only once we start entering into, remember, in the NFL, you got to bring it home. You got bring it to the sideline with you, take it home with you, right? You're going to take it to bed. You got all these things that are going to happen in order for it to be a catch. That's my problem with it. And look, Bengals fans, here's what I'll say, though. Because I don't have a lot of sympathy for Bengals fans, because I'll say this. I don't have a lot of Bengals fans being sympathetic about the Jesse James play, however long that was, right? 5 years ago, when Jesse James, everybody knows he caught it, right? Everybody knows he caught it, that you're reaching over, that's a touchdown, but we called it incomplete. This is the problem I have. Look, we have to, as a fan base, and I don't know how we do this because really the only answer is stop watching the games, right? But we have to not put up with this crap, right? It's not okay when it happens to Jesse James. It's not okay when it happens to Calvin Johnson. And as a Steeler fan, I'll tell you, it's not okay when it happens to Jamar Chase. This is the NFL willfully ruining the sport, right? How are we 15 years into this and we still don't have actual clarity as to what a catch is? It is like when I talk about how bad the National Football League is, this is what I'm talking about. Cases like this. This is a divisional playoff game that could have decided the game, right? That play, those 4 points they took away from the Bengals could have decided the outcome of that football game. And it's year 15 of a problem that we all know about, and the NFL just refuses to fix. That play definitely got under my skin. That's why I was more than happy to go on Twitter and talk about how displeased I was, even though, yes, I was at that point rooting for the Bengals to put more points on the board, which would have probably been, that would have made it 24-7. I was crying through those tweets, but still, they felt like I needed to send them anyway.
Okay, so by the way, some news here from Field Yates. The Bengals have claimed cornerback, core special teamer Chris Lamons off waivers from the Chiefs. The waiver claim will officially
learn the playbook. I love this move.
day after the Super Bowl, so he cannot play. But when Lemons will be eligible to join Cincinnati, an added wrinkle, of course, Bengals at Chiefs Sunday. Just want to put out.
Love
there.
it. Love it.
Love it.
Okay, imagine a Purdy game-winning drive versus the Bengals. Ain't happening, Nova. Ain't happening.
All right, I need the Philadelphia Eagles to like beat the tar off of the 49ers. They have made this Brock Purdy thing from like a cool story to like, all right, y'all on my nerves. This whole time. Like, come on now.
It is kind of, although okay, but counterpoint. Just to play devil's advocate for the purposes of this segment, right? Like, it is a pretty cool story that he is going through. I mean, obviously, outplaying Geno Smith wasn't necessarily that big a deal, right? But Dak Prescott, we all consider probably a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and in a playoff game, I mean, he outplayed Dak. I think, and no one would question that, right?
No.
I mean, like, do you get points for outplaying Kirk Cousins? Because that's what he did.
Well, but we're talking about a 7th round draft pick. Look,
I know. It's
Mr.
legitimately impressive,
irrelevant.
and like he's actually good. Here's the thing,
right,
though.
look.
Brock Purdy's like actually good because like they're calling like empty. They never call empty with Jimmy Garoppolo, who Kyle Shanahan knows firmly not good. He's actually good. He's probably gonna have a long NFL career, but it gets exhausting to me when it's like, okay, I like Brock Purdy. This is cool.
Right.
And then everybody decides Brock Purdy. Oh my God, is he Tom? Like, can we already have one Tom Brady in the playoffs? Can we not have two? Like there's been three Tom Brady's in the playoffs, right? Because everybody calls Joe Burrow Tom Brady.
Well,
it is, we
the
get
Joe Burrow comp is real for Brady. I mean, for Burrow,
actual Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean that's real.
Yeah, well, honestly, Joe Burrow, like, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it until he win a championship, but I'll wait for that. But then,
Wow, you're gonna wait 5 years to make that comp?
You're
gonna wait 5 years to make that comp?
So what? Joe Burrow wins a championship?
That's what you said, right?
I mean, he could do it this year.
Well,
some
what?
shades.
I'm just saying, like 5 years.
But if he doesn't do it, then I'm going to do that thing where people put unnecessary pressure on. If Joe Burrow doesn't get it done this year, it never gets done.
Well, remember, if Josh Allen is going to be modern day Jim Kelly, we still need a modern day Dan Marino.
If this is
Dan
year
Marino
number
never got to
3,
the Super Bowl.
what are we gonna look like?
Yes, he did. He got one time in his second year.
What are we gonna look like in 10 years? Joe Burrow, the new Tom Brady, in the division for 10 years. Y'all might want to get used to this. I might be up here.
Two Tom Brady's in the division, actually.
For a couple years, man.
Two Tom Brady's in the division.
Tom Brady ain't gonna be living in no Cincinnati. I refuse.
It's gonna be Operation Let's Get Ace out of the left upper corner. They're gonna all come through it.
Well, look at the Super Chat Q. You will be on the top half once Lamar out of the North.
Even if Lamar comes back, I'm coming for that.
I'm sorry. Why don't we have the Browns finish above Kenny Pickett once before we start anointing Q with the top half, please? All right. Let's let them finish above young Kenny, please.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm not saying anything to anybody specifically. All I'm saying is that I'm going to keep this basement nice and clean for whoever's next to it. Because I know this is a rental, baby. This is a rental. You know what I mean?
Oh, you want to keep your house clean. I agree with that. You want to keep your house clean.
This is summer rental. I'm about to sublease this thing to somebody else. I'm not saying anybody specifically because it could be multiple people who can end up with this beautiful rental space down here. But I'm going to just know it's going to be nice and clean. It's going to smell like new car when you come in here for your spot. It's gonna be great. I got a great spot on the couch too for y'all, whoever it is.
Q, is Josh and Pat not elite? Then who is? Stop hating. Hey,
I said Pat was elite.
Y'all know he trolling now. Y'all know he trolling.
Like getting to 2 AFC championship games, I'm gonna act like that's actually not impressive. Like obviously it's impressive. But just only beat one elite quarterback. I'm just going to put that one out there.
Okay, so look at this Q for you. Brady in 2001 played smart, won, got better.
How did he play last week? Oh, you don't want to talk about that, huh? You don't want to talk about that, huh? I know, but how did your boy look last week?
Yeah, and also can we discuss that we're going to call Dak Prescott Kirk Cousins? he did beat Tom Brady, which is the ultimate sign that Tom is cooked. Like Tom is done.
Or
Blew him out. No, blew him out. Didn't just beat him. Blew him out.
Wait,
Was never close.
That mic'd up was nasty. It was sad. It was sad.
Wait,
bro.
Q. Your theory
It
is
was sad for you. For me, it was it was basically a comedy. I was crying real tears of joy.
Where were you after we beat Brady? What happened? What happened in that game again?
Where were you
Refresh my
after we
memory.
all beat Brady? Where were we when we beat Brady? You know what I mean? We all beat Brady.
Did we sweep Brady this year? Did we sweep Brady?
Yeah, we swept him.
all swept Brady.
Oh,
Jacoby Brissett took that Brady, baby, and then quoted him in the press conference afterwards. That's how you know he's cooked. When Jacoby Brissett does a victory lap on you and uses your own words to do said victory lap, you're cooked. Tyler Huntley. Was Tyler Huntley the one to beat him?
No. It was
Lamar. Okay, and then was it Kenny Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky?
Oh, tag team. No, tag team. That was when Kenny got his first
It was
concussion.
the Legion of Doom. Okay, it was the Legion of Doom.
Tag team him in. Mitch, you want a shot at him?
Dude, but Q, this to your point. Tom Brady gets beat by who? Mid quarterbacks. Who beat him?
Mid.
Walker.
Oh, you're calling Lamar mid?
PJ Walker.
No, I'm saying in the playoffs. We were talking playoff. Remember?
Like Tom Brady's Achilles heel is quarterbacks that aren't really that good.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Hey, man, Kenny Pickett was born in the wrong era. He would have terrorized the AFC in like 2006.
Hold on. Is there a quarterback he could have played in the NFC that would have been elite though? Like he only had mids to play.
Also, Big Ben was mid.
Yeah, there's not a single elite quarterback in the NFC, is there?
No, like legitimately, only Hurts is really, like
whoa, Tony, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I mean, that one goes without saying, right? I mean, that's just
father versus son.
Have you seen the comparison of Purdy and John Harbaugh, like side to side?
Damn.
Like it's insane. It's insane. It actually looks like his kid.
Are they like twins or something?
Dude.
I thought they were comparing him to Jim Harbaugh like as a football player. I'm like, that's disrespectful.
No. John Harbaugh and Brock Purdy side to side like face. Anyway, Tony having PTSD from Ben fake spike choke interception. That's from Nova. We go
Big Ben fake spiked interception.
Yeah, I don't know.
That wasn't a fake spike. That was just a play. And by the way, that play was also BS. It never should have happened. In fact, I don't even believe that play happened because Jesse scored, guys. Jesse caught it. That play didn't happen.
I did just watch that play. Absolutely does look like a catch, but
it's unbelievable.
I mean, it looks like a clean catch. I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way they can overturn that. Like, you don't even think about the review. Like, they probably called that one for review, Tony. You're like, what are they reviewing?
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday, man. Me and my brother were watching it together, and I realized before he did, we were both like, what are they reviewing? What are we talking about? They think he was down to the one or something? And my brother was like, oh, even if he's down at the one, we'll be fine, yada, yada. And so then I started thinking to myself, oh, no, actually, they're going to – I remember when Tony Romo was talking about it, I thought, oh, right, they're going to review that he's going to the ground. This is going to be a complete pass. My brother, I will never forget it. As soon as Ben threw the interception, he screamed. He F-bombed about as loud as I've ever heard a human F-bomb of all time, and then went into the other room and slammed the door shut as hard as possible. It was one of my favorite moments watching games with my family. Hilarious.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Tony lost his hair. The door
that's
slammed
that's
hard
right.
that it just brushed
I had
everything off.
a full mullet before that.
Yeah, but then he slammed that door, and then the sonic boom just.
What?
Mr. Isipi says, Q, you can't look at Purdy and honestly tell
Dog,
me
some of this is Brock Purdy is actually good. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is not all Kyle Shanahan. I know what it looks like when it's all Kyle Shanahan. I watched Brian Hoyer look good under Kyle Shanahan. Nah, this ain't the dogs and this isn't the pony show that he usually puts up. Some of this is Brock Purdy is good, and then some of this is Brock Purdy don't know he's not that good. So he just throwing the balls in some places that he has no business throwing the ball at, but it just be landed.
Yeah, he's playing with house money at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy, if he ever wins a Super Bowl, this is his year to do it, but he ain't doing
it. By the way, Q, didn't that year you have Shanahan and McVay?
No, we had Shanahan, Nerd Boy, and I think,
Nerd Boy.
Kevin O'Connell
Mm.
on that staff. Mike Pettin put together a hell of a staff.
Yeah.
Won 7 games. We had Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, and we won 6 games. Bill Belichick didn't have one winning season in 6 seasons as a head coach. Think about that. His first 6 seasons, 1 winning season.
Professor Chaos says, my definition of a catch is, one, does it benefit the Browns? If yes, then yes. If no, then no. Fair enough.
It's all vibes, right? Like you watch it and you go, that feels like a catch. And then they review it and they slow it down. It's like, oh, this is too much. There should be a speed limit to how slow you can make the footage to determine if something is a catch or not. Like at some point, we have to look at this shit at game speed to be able to make the determination. Like I get the slow motion's helpful for seeing if people's feet are inbounds, and that's cool. That's concrete. You could tell that. But when it comes to ball control, I don't think it's fair to judge it off of the slow motion and say he didn't have control of the ball. If it's not noticeable in real time, when you watch the video back in real time, it should not be overrulable. Like, I think that's in the general way we should probably look at that, because if we're slowing it down inch by inch, it's going to be so easy to overrule anything if you want to.
Well, the offense are so skewed on the rule book that I'm actually okay with a rule being a little bit against the because
we should go back to the still image rule where it's like, hey, if you can't prove it in a still image, then you can't overturn it.
The shot clock rule of a catch or of replay, I think I'm very much in favor of, right? Like a 30-second shot clock. If you can't tell in 30 seconds, then we can't. Whatever happened to indisputable visual evidence, right? Now we're stitching it all together. We're gonna stitch this together and say,
if they can't show you the shot, then they can't turn it over. But now it's like, dog, we put together 4 different angles and decided that this thing is no longer a catch. That obviously looked like a catch.
Well, that's what the stitching. That's what they did, which was the correct call on the touchdown for Mixon, right? Because you couldn't see the ball. You really couldn't see the ball on that run, but they stitch and they say the knee is here, right? We think the ball is here because there's no actual picture of the ball crossing.
They shouldn't be able to do it then.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made, right? Like I get that it was physically speaking, where could the ball possibly be if not over the goal line?
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't prove it, you can't prove it. There is the
look.
The only reason replay exists is to be like, hey, this thing is obviously wrong and needs to be changed. Not like, hey, this thing's borderline. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's what the replay exists for. Everybody wants it to be like, hey, if you can make an argument for it being one way, then it should be reversed. But nah, man, it's got to be obvious to the point where you go, okay, yeah, that's a catch.
Yeah, there's no, indisputable. Yes.
Joe Burrow is choked on Tom Brady would won Super Bowl 56.
Oh, unlike Tom Brady. What about Eli Manning? Twice. What happened? What happened, Nova? What happened?
That was the 18-0. Remember the 18-0 season? That was one.
And let's not forget, if it wasn't for a Malcolm Butler interception, we are talking about a pretty big Tom Brady choke job.
If it's not for we're also talking about a massive blowout if the friggin' Falcons could do literally anything in the second half of that game. How people do the tweet
stuff in that game. Tom literally did nothing in that fourth quarter. They got all the credit for that game.
But you know how people do the LeBron tweet, right? You've ever seen the LeBron reply where it's beat OKC when they were too young, they go through all of his championships and try to disprove it or whatever.
Just make them fraudulent.
yeah, exactly. No, but there's a legitimate case that Tom Brady could have a losing record in Super Bowls. It's a very easy case to make. If they run the ball at the 1 yard line with Marshawn, and if the Falcons don't choke it away, and then he won 3 Super Bowls on last second field goals as well. So any of those miss, and he's all of a sudden,
Tony, you sound salty. You sound salty.
I'm just saying it's a legitimate case, and maybe I should be that guy. Maybe I should be the Brady reply guy. I might start my own. I might start a what do they call it? A burner
reply guy.
Yeah, I'll be a Brady reply. No. Anytime I'll basically put up a thing where I'll create a bot where anytime you mention Brady in a tweet, my thing just replies with all the ways he should have lost the Super Bowl.
So that's what would be happening.
Oh
yeah.
Super chat here for Point Jones Ace, who we picking at 32. I don't know why
I don't know, dog. It's not mock draft season. I don't know any of the prospects right now.
Well, the
Not worried
32nd
about
pick.
Not worried about it.
Well, you know what he's
You
saying.
ain't picking 32nd. I'm picking 32nd.
You know what he's saying. He's saying because you win Super Bowl, but the 32nd pick is already locked.
No. I know what he's saying. I just don't know, bro. I don't know who we're picking.
So you know what Point Jones is actually saying is that the Bengals are going to have to trade with the Steelers here.
Yeah,
That's right.
Joe Burrow coming to Pittsburgh? Is that what's going on?
No, we don't need. That'd be a downgrade for us. No offense, but
This show's going off the rails.
Ace got on the
Bardiers.
I don't know when I'm gonna take them off, dog. We gotta lose. I might have to wear them all summer. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Okay, Joe Burrow seems like the type of guy that will take a discount to keep the team together.
Don't put that pressure on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, get your money. Don't let them fools tell you got to take this and save for to be a good teammate. No,
Joe Burrow's a bad teammate. Let's start that now. If Joe Burrow takes any more than $50 million, he's a bad teammate, no doubt. Selfish. He's a selfish player. He's stopping a potential dynasty. I like that. I love that tweet or that super chat. Yeah, because that's just fuel for me and Q. What you just did right there is give me and Q fuel, and we appreciate it.
Fans love to do that. It's like, hey man, I love this quarterback. He's so good. You know, he looks like he might start taking a discount. It's like, you think he's really good at his job and he's gonna take less? Like, that's crazy to me.
Ravens fan has been saying that about Lamar for 2 years.
Hey, what if your boss is like, hey bro, you so good at your job, I want you to take less money
so we can bring more talent.
so we could build around you. It's like, nah, bro, build my pockets. Like, what you talking about? Like, no. Think Joe Burrow be in the offseason trying to get a discount? Like, it's crazy. No, he want his money too.
Noah Stone here says Super Bowl 49, Brady scored 2 touchdowns in fourth quarter.
Where's Brady at right now?
So you're talking about some damn garbage time touchdowns that he scored because that game was pretty much over with. They were playing soft coverage. Stop. Tom Brady's legacy is just happenstance. You know what I mean? It just happened like that.
Which one's 49? 49
There's no season Tom Brady played in where you're like, he's the clear-cut best quarterback in football, other than 2007, and he lost to Eli Manning that year. So mid. Who's the guy that used to say Frank Gore? He's just the Frank Gore of quarterbacks. He just been around so long enough that he's accumulated so much, but actually mid.
Frank Gore.
Even though Frank Gore is really good. Frank Gore was really good.
Yeah, well, he was the beast. Anyway,
he almost ran for 2,000 yards like 3 times.
When you're so bad for so long, you get lucky and draft a generational talent like Chase.
So bad for so long. Where did this fake ass narrative of the Bengals being bad for so long come from? You would have thought that we never won the AFC North at all. You would have thought that we never went to the playoffs with Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton. Like, when did we become the Lions, dog?
It's crazy too. He had to choose between generational guys that y'all fell into. You know what I mean?
General talent like Chase. This guy has to be a Ravens fan.
No, he's a Philly fan.
That Joe Burrow is good.
He's
still losing to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see about that, my boy. Let's see if y'all can get past Brock Purdy. Let's see if that can happen.
If Brock Purdy gets out the NFC, and we got to go through a whole media week.
Purdy?
That would be 2 media weeks, by the way. 2 media weeks.
I'm here for it. Tom Brady did. And
yeah, he is a Raven. I told you he was a Ravens. The Jamar Chase, they never want to give Joe Burrow credit. He's a Raven. They're like, oh, it's just Jamar Chase. Yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah, he said Ravens Nation. Tom Brady did, and he got.
Hey, yo, wait. We got to call out how soft that was that he had to call. He's like, hey, Philly, handle my light work. Philly, finish him off. Like, you had to get big bro on him because you lost the game. No. You should have sat that without big dog. That's crazy.
Yeah. Roundabout way admitted that the Bengals going to the Super Bowl, so appreciate that.
He's like, oh, I can't wait till Philly gets you. That was like when Chase Claypool said, y'all go get clapped by the Chiefs.
That was a clap by the Chiefs moment. You don't want to be that guy.
Okay.
That dude about to get traded to the Bears for a 2nd-round pick next year.
We are all caught up with super chats. We had talked about the game throughout this stream, but Lou Masterclass, aka Ace Boogie. Anything you want to add? Because I know we had talked throughout the stream about the game, but anything you want to add about the game?
I tried to warn people about this team in the offseason. I told people that they got better. Last year, they weren't the perfect offense. They had flaws, offensive line and stuff like that. They went out and they fixed it. And I kept telling people, I'm like, all right, we just went to the Super Bowl in our second year. Joe Burrow is going to go back. I had no worry that Joe Burrow was going to go back whatsoever. I know a lot of people were like, oh, are we going to get back? Like, we got number 9, dog. Like, we got Joe Burrow. Like, you're always going to have a chance. And to me, when I first heard the stuff about Josh Allen in the offseason, I couldn't believe it because last year I remember that divisional round. Oh, this should have been the AFC championship, this and that. We go out, we do it. All of a sudden, beating the Chiefs became easy. When did that become easy? These dudes have been in the AFC championship or into the Super Bowl for like 4 or 5 straight years. The only team that really was able to beat them was the Patriots back with Tom Brady before he left and went to the NFC, and the Bengals. Nobody else could get past them. Nobody else could stop the Chiefs. And so for me, I knew that we had a good chance, especially coming into the year. Lou was back. Defense is playing the same, pretty much the same like they were last year. And everybody's talking about the Bills. That Monday night game showed me enough because like I told you guys before when we previewed the game, I said it was very easy for us to move up and down the field. It wasn't like that against Baltimore. It wasn't like that against certain other teams. And like when teams have not played the Bengals before, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle Jamar Chase. They don't know how to handle any of the stuff. And all week I had to hear from Bills fans, oh, you never played Josh Allen. I played Pat Mahomes last year. I play against Lamar Jackson. If you want to talk about running, there's really nobody that runs better than Lamar Jackson. And our defensive coordinator is used to seeing that. So when we come into this game and I'm hearing things about, oh, Josh Allen and our run game, our defense, these dudes try to tell me that they had a better defense than the Ravens. They started to use points per game metrics and all of this and that. And I said, well, when the Ravens got Roquan, what was the points per game average from then until now? Oh, they only gave up 16 points while you were giving up 21 to the likes of Mac Jones and all of these other bums like Skylar Thompson the week before. But your defense is just so scary. These dudes told me that Tre'Davious White was on the level of Marlon Humphrey. I'm a Bengals fan. There's no way in hell that's true. It's just not true. It's just not true. And so I love this game because they got it at their home. They got Burrow versus Allen, and we cooked them. It wasn't close. It was definitive. There were no stones unturned. And I felt like this was going to happen because all week these dudes were doing 1 a.m. spaces. 1 a.m. on Twitter spaces, wondering how they're going to stop the Bengals, but wanted to act like they were just, so confident in their abilities. I told you that Josh Allen was going to give us one. I knew that this game was essentially going to happen the way that it kind of did. Snow game with Joe Mixon. I got Joe Mixon, and you don't even got Dalvin Cook. You got James Cook. That's just going to leave you cooked on defense because we got DJ Reader. We got all of these guys, and all of these guys just did what they normally do. They play together on defense. They play sound. Lou's going to show something that you've never seen before. This time, this dude is blitzing a lot of our cornerbacks and safeties from crazy depths where he wasn't even expecting it. And Josh Allen had to run for his life all day. Yeah, we only got 1 sack on the paper, but Josh Allen couldn't do anything in that pocket. We probably should have had about 4 or 5 sacks if it wasn't for him. Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow. When they showed that clip of Joe Burrow before the game, and this man did the Steph Curry, let me just throw it, turn around, I'm not even going to look at it if it was complete. Bro, you should have known right then and there. This dude, it's no coincidence that he's the all-time leader in completion percentage already. 3rd year. He doesn't miss. Joe doesn't miss. And then you got Jamar Chase, and then you got T. Higgins. How many times are we going to go through the same thing? We hear the same thing week to week, Bengals fans. Oh, Eli Apple's going to get cooked. Did he get cooked yesterday? What happened, Diggs? What happened? Oh, you didn't make it happen. Oh, Eli Apple had one of the biggest plays in the game with the pass breakup. Oh, Cam Taylor-Britt, we're going to take advantage of him. Oh, what happened? Another big pass deflection. Oh, game-sealing interception. Oh, this Bengals team is for real. You want to keep sleeping on us. You don't want to believe it. You want to feel like it was a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. The Bengals are just a good team. We got Joe Burrow. We got a great team. They're ready to go back. We literally just came from the Super Bowl. There's no team. I don't care if it's the Chiefs, the Bills, whoever you want to say in the AFC. Nobody wants it more than us because we were there. We were there when the confetti fell on our head. We were there when we knew what it took for us to get back to the same position. I don't care if it's Arrowhead. I don't care if it's Highmark. I don't care if it's my goddamn backyard. You're going to have to play us. The AFC goes through us. It's the Bengals. Joe Burrow, Joe Burr, Joe Shiesty. You got to play him. And you got to play the other guys on this team. And it's not just Jamar Chase. It's not just Jamar Chase. You might get hit by Hayden Hurst. You might get hit by Trenton Irwin. Out of nowhere, Tre'Davious White, the Marlon Humphrey guy, is giving up passes to the likes of Trenton Irwin in these games. The Bills were fake, bro. Don't sell me on this whole thing where the Bills were this Super Bowl team. He's Mr. January and all of that when he's never played in February. He's never gone to the Chiefs Stadium and handed Pat Mahomes an L. He doesn't know what it feels like to be 3-0 against Pat Mahomes. He doesn't know what it feels like to touch a field during the Super Bowl. He doesn't know what it feels like to watch a halftime show like Evan McPherson with Snoop Dogg and all of these guys. Get used to it. It's here. It's going to happen. It's Joe Burrow. This team is good. We're for real. And I don't know how many times we got to keep proving it to you. The Bengals are for real, and we're here to stay.
Okay, a couple super chats. Parsons said we don't give Burrow credit because he is mid.
That's a crazy thing to say.
He's mid.
By the way, because the other day somebody cut one of me reading a super chat, did not put the super chat, and it almost looked like I was saying something.
Like you were saying.
It's a super chat, by the way.
That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
It's not me. Go back and watch the video. That was a super chat. I don't think he's mid. Anyway, hey Ace, what rules change do you think the NFL will make this year after the Buffalo?
I don't know. I was gonna say, a neutral field for the AFC Championship, but the Bills aren't gonna make it, so that's not gonna help them. That won't help them either.
Mm-hmm.
This is for Jerry. Can someone tell Apple we have a championship game on Sunday to prepare for and get off Twitter? He is disrespecting his own team after being
it's Eli Apple, bro. Like, this man had a cardboard cutout of a coin with Roger Goodell's face on it. Like, what did you expect? Like, this is the one thing I say about Eli Apple. He has all of these antics, but it's because he was cooked on Twitter for years.
Yeah,
people cooked Eli.
He's been saving it. He's been saving it.
He's still cooked on Twitter.
And whenever he has a good game, I mean, dog, Stephon Diggs had 35 yards. Big game, I think little game Gabe had 34. No touchdowns. I am gonna gloat if I was him too. Like, I get it. Maybe it might be over the top, but this dude was cooked for like a whole 10 years, bro, on Twitter. He's gonna pop back and say some of his stuff.
He has some receipts there. Did Joe Burrow not choke in Super Bowl 56?
I wouldn't say he choked. He didn't have enough time to get, like, a lot of people forget that last play.
Nobody seriously walked away from the Super Bowl last year thinking that Joe Burrow choked. Stop that shit.
Yeah,
stop it. That was not what anybody thought, was that Joe Burrow choked in that game. That's not what. Come on now.
I agree.
Everybody's talking about the offensive line, please.
Let me also add this to this game. This game went not as I expected. I said Bengals by 10. Obviously, I mean, this was a booty beat down, right? Of the Bengals. It wasn't even close. I told Ace that after the first quarter, I just tweeted OVER because it was over. It was done. And what I said in the preview of the game, I said, like, the defense of Buffalo cannot handle the offense of the Bengals, right? And that would provoke then Josh Allen to start forcing things, to start panicking because now he wants to make that big play in the offense, committing turnovers, which he eventually did. I thought there were going to be more turnovers, right? Because I thought Josh Allen was going to do more stupid things.
Yeah.
But he was not sharp. Like, he left plays out there. It wasn't like there was a couple plays that he overthrew the receivers. The play was there to be made. He just not did it. He just overthrew the guy. Allen looked like a rookie. Like this was his first big game. Like, he looked nervous. He looked ill-prepared. Now, to Ace's point here, the Bengals, although there was no or one sack, whatever, the pressure was there. The pressure was there. Kenny Britt KBT, right? I think that's his initials. He had a hell of a game. The rookie.
CTB, yep.
KBT.
Taylor Britt.
Yes, thank you. He had a hell of a
Called
game.
it Kenny Brett.
Yeah.
No, he said, yeah.
My bad.
No, okay.
Anyway, he had a hell of a game. Buffalo and their running game. If you're a northern team, like we are all here, right? We all play in the elements. No, though you have to be able to have a strong running game. If you say, well, it's because our running game stuff, but that's on you, because you know where you play. You know you need to have a stronger running game. You can't be using that as an excuse. This has been your team all year. It wasn't like your top running back was injured and didn't play. No, you have your two top running backs, and you just cannot run the ball. I think the Bills already peak, to be honest. I think the Bills are. This is the best version of the Bill. Well, the best version of Bill probably was like a year ago. And they pick. And I said this also last podcast. I said the Bengals are what the Bills thought they were gonna be, right? I said that phrase, and it is true. The Bengals are where the Bills thought they were gonna be. And I look, I teach this to my girls all the time. It's like, doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter on paper, you have to play the game. And that's what happened last year. And last year, the Bengals beat the Bills. This year, I actually thought the Bengals were the better team. So this is on paper, not on paper. I just thought the Bengals were the better team. And if the Bills had a lot of soul searching, because I think I'm not disagreeing here with Ace. I think at most right now, the Bengals are a AFC Championship team, depending how the bracket is drawn. But think about this: do you pick the Bills against the Bengals? I wouldn't. Do you pick the Bills against the Chiefs? I think they're closer to the Chiefs than they are to the Bengals, but I still will pick the Chiefs. So then right now you're talking about they're the third best team in the AFC, although they have the hype of the best team in the league. So that's tough as a fan, right? When you think your team is the best and you're the third best in your conference. I don't know how this team can get better though, because I do think obviously Von Miller's there, that pass rush is better, but Von Miller's on the wrong side at 30, right? Von Miller, if they want to preserve Von Miller, they have to make him more of a situational pass rusher, which might work during the season. Because this is a team that plays well as a front runner. When they're front running, Josh Allen is just hitting. Like he doesn't miss. So during the season that works. But look at the Bills' record. Like the Ravens got a lot of flag because when they were one position game, I think the Ravens are like 2 games above 500, right? Look at the Bills, like on a close game, they're below 500. So they're a good team where they're front running, where they're not front running, and that's why I call Josh Allen Mr. Tony Romo. Q, do you have anything else you want to add?
Just call Josh Romo. Just call him what he is, Mr. September. He's real good in September. Like you know what I mean? Josh Allen real good in September. Everybody get excited about Josh Allen in September. October roll around, okay, and all of a sudden November, yeah, we get to December, and then we don't want to talk about what happened in January. You know, it's funny. I put out there. We don't talk about Josh Allen's playoff losses like we talk about Lamar's. It's kind of odd, huh? Yeah. It is kind of odd how if Lamar has like a less than good playoff game, boy, do you hear about it? Is that style sustainable for winning playoff games? But Josh Allen came out here, played 2 bad playoff games in a row, just happened to win one of them, and nobody got nothing for him. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
5-0 at home, I think they told us. 5-1 now. Then I think it was 13-2 now. All of those little streaks that they had. So also shout out to the Bengals offensive line. I didn't say this. Jackson Carman, Hakeem Adeniji, they just bullied those boys all day. We played AFC North football. They weren't ready for it. They were soft. Shout out to them in the trenches, especially for Jackson Carman to come back after being in the doghouse from a rookie season. but played a hell of a game at left tackle. Jonah might have I don't know if Jonah,
I was gonna
don't know if
mention
that's your
you
spot is yours, dog.
I was
I
gonna
don't know if
mention
that
that
spot is
So,
yours, bro.
So what you're saying, Ace, is that the AFC is like the SEC. Like we just be taking each other out in our championship game, and then boom, all of a sudden, now. So if any AFC team was in there, we would be in the conference championship.
That's why teams struggle against AFC North teams, and I say this all the time because they're not ready for the physicality. Like when you had to play the Ravens, you had to play the Steelers, you got to play the Browns. They're not ready for the physicality, bro. They can't
that is my takeaway from the game, right? Because again, I think. I understand what we're saying about Allen and some of the criticism that deserves to go his way, but I do think it's unfair to the. I know I'm just sound weird saying this. I'm gonna say it through tears again.
It's unfair to the Bengals.
It's unfair to the Bengals to just go, oh well, Josh Allen wasn't as good as we thought he was, right? This wasn't Josh Allen's career mode year or anything. No. Like Josh Allen played really well this year. And I think Josh Allen has proved. You go back to his playoff loss a year ago, right? I mean, no one's gonna look at that game and go, Josh Allen choked, right? I mean, that was just two quarterbacks going, throwing haymakers back and forth. I think the credit that needs to be given in this game is to the Bengals because how many haymakers did Josh Allen throw in this one? They didn't let him throw a single one. This game, I hate to bring it back to the Steelers because I do this too much on this show, but this game reminded me of a Steelers game in the playoffs from 2016. It was Steelers-Dolphins. I was actually at the game. It was 6 degrees at kickoff. And you could tell early in that game, the Dolphins do not want to be here whatsoever. They don't want any part of this cold and any part of this physicality, right? The Steelers broke their will. I mean, there was a point in the game where the Dolphins mounted like this minor little comeback, and then Le'Veon just started, pounding the ball, and the Dolphins were like, check, please. We want out of this bad boy. I think for me, that's the most impressive thing about what the Bengals did. It's not that, Josh Allen got exposed. It's that Josh Allen's a great quarterback, and the Bengals made him look pedestrian, right? The Bengals made this entire Bills team quit in their own. How I talked about it before, like the all willpower thing. Look, you're not going to convince me that the Bengals offensive line had more talent than what the Bills defensive line had. They had more will. And sometimes, in fact, a lot of times in the National Football League, it's not about talent. It's about will. It's about, you may be better than me, but not better enough that we're not, because I have the will to go through you and you do not have the will to go through me, right? It's like you don't want to be here. As soon as I punch you in the mouth, how do you react? That old thing in football. And the Bengals punched the Bills in the mouth very early in this game, and the Bills had no reply at any point. I think that's the credit that needs to be given. This was a game about physicality. Look, I'm not going to take anything away from what Burrow did. He was excellent. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all the weapons that they have in this football game. But to me, the thing that I come away most impressed by is, Sonny, the trenches. I mean, that I think, you always talk about this is a game that was won. This was not a game that was about all the talent the Bengals have on offense. It was about dominating this game with the line of scrimmage. The most interesting part of this game was a lot of the Bengals' early stuff was like, let's run a little quick game and let's see if that works. And then you could tell like a light bulb went off with Burrow of like, wait, I have time. Like they're not getting to be. And even if they are, one of Burrow's traits that we've talked about that he's really gotten so much better at throughout the year, and when it was a problem for him earlier, is that navigation of the pocket. Yes. His ability, even when there was some times in this game where like Ed Oliver would win a rep, again, it's the difference between, the winning and actually getting the sack, right? Pressure versus sack. Pressure is nice, sacks are better. And in this game, they got a little pressure on Burrow, but it didn't matter. At what point in this game do you really feel like, boy, Burrow's under some heat and he's really struggling out there? Never. Not one point in this game did anyone watch and go, wow, the Bills are really winning at the line of scrimmage and it's getting to Burrow. Never. And I think that's what, I talk about game script a lot, being able to win in different conditions, being able to win a game that's played in a certain way. This was really impressive from the Bengals because when you think about the Bengals, you think about them as high flying. They're going to score 30. That really, look, here we are. This is playoff game number 5 for them. They've never scored 30 points in a playoff game. In fact, the majority of their playoff games have looked like this, and we all know that they are fully capable of winning in a shootout too, but they just haven't had to yet, right? All the game scripts have played out, more lower scoring or just different types of games than that. And I think it's a credit to them that they're able to win in all of those. They're able to make the big plays and be the better team in all those moments. So that's my big takeaway from this one.
The one thing I want to ask you, Tony, obviously you're not a Bengals fan, but you are a fan of Mike Hilton. What were your thoughts when that dude hit Josh Allen like that? 5'7" dude taking out Josh Allen like that with that hit.
Sadness. Just absolute sadness. And look, a lot of Steelers fans tweeted about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's the biggest mistake the Steelers made, letting Hilton walk." Remember that was during the COVID year. That was when the salary cap went down. The Steelers were obviously in some salary cap hell at the time. They did offer him a deal, but obviously the Bengals could afford to give him more. But it is, man. It's one of those things like the one that got away. For the Steelers, you think about what he represented, that nickel corner spot, and everything that he does, and I think it's a credit to Lou, right? Because what was my first criticism of or not even criticism, but like when the Bengals signed him. I said, "Boy, you better use him right." You know what I mean? Like, we think about Mike Hilton. He's not, he's not the perfect nickel corner. He is elite at what he does. He is elite around the line of scrimmage. He is an elite pass rusher from that spot. And so credit to Lou for using him exactly the right way. Now I will say, going back to that play, I actually didn't. I know we talked earlier, like that was a fumble. I actually didn't think it was a fumble. And here's why. Although you could see it either way. I just felt like because the ball went, Hilton hits him, coming one way and the ball goes the other, right? So it's like if the ball never started, if his arm never started going forward, then how did the ball go forward? That was bang. I mean, that was his bang. It basically was. I felt like whatever the call was on the field, you probably can't overturn it, right? But that's another one of those, just like the Mixon one, right? From a physics perspective, where could the ball be on the Mixon touchdown? From a physics perspective, how did the ball go forward if his arm never started going forward? But still, I mean, regardless, great play on Mike Hilton's part, and it's what makes him such a special player.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Mike Hilton is a special guy for sure.
I wanted to add because I did forget about talking a little bit on the trenches. There was domination, right? But you mentioned something, Ace, that I did wanted to mention was Carmen. Carmen played. Who wasn't perfect. I'm not here saying like, oh, he played like a top left tackle, but what he did was he played no worse than Jonah Williams. Like couldn't say
he played better, bro. I'm gonna be real.
My point is
better. Jonah's been 12 sacks given up this year. I think a lot of Bengals fans feel like he played better in this game.
No, I don't disagree.
He's more athletic than Jonah. So like some of the stuff that gets to Jonah doesn't get to him.
Right.
But like some of the stuff that wouldn't work against, like because Jonah's super strong. I don't think Carmen's as strong as Jonah.
No, he's stronger than Jonah.
He's stronger than Jonah?
He's stronger than Jonah. Like he was out there, like not only was he helping in the passing game, he was putting dudes like on their rear ends in the run game. He has some nasty stuff. Trey Edmonds, he tossed him like a rag doll. He's way more physical than Jonah, and he does like this two-hand punch thing, which I think Brady Bollinger, or whatever his name is, he was talking about it and was like, this dude looks like he could be a franchise left tackle. And that's the position Carmen played at Clemson. But the Bengals wanted to say, hey, let's put him at right guard. He played – sorry, Sonny, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
no, go ahead.
He played way better. Like, honestly, I don't think Jonah Williams had a game that looked like that this season.
Carmen looked comfortable, and that's what I was going to bring it. He looked like he belonged in the left tackle. You basically – because Jonah Williams is a free agent after this year, right? Because he didn't pick the fit.
Well, so we exercised Jonah's option for next season, so he'll be back no matter what. But I'm sorry, I'm not paying Jonah Williams $20 million a year. Sorry,
but the problem is it's guaranteed. That next one is guaranteed. Yeah. So if might be a team that is willing to trade him if you eat half of the salary.
You can't really trade a fifth-year option. They stuck with that.
You think so? Well, if a team wants
you know how much the Browns have to maneuver to get that fifth-year option traded with Baker Mayfield.
Oh, but it's Baker. Nobody.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, and that's somebody that people thought at the time was still a starting level quarterback.
Yeah,
like, we think of Baker Mayfield because, like, remember, right now we're like, 32nd QBR, 33rd QBR. But back then, that wasn't the perception. That was somebody who's like, hey, he had a bad year because he was injured, and he's still like a top 20 level QB, and you still couldn't get anybody to buy that off of you because of that fifth-year option. That fifth-year option is like Eric Ebron had trouble getting traded on the fifth-year option. Like any position, if you're on a fifth-year option, you're virtually untradeable.
He was Roquan on the fifth-year option?
Yeah, he was.
He was, but then he got extended, right?
But Roquan is way better than Jonah Williams.
He got extended with us.
So, like, unless you're planning on extending him, and I don't know who trades for Jonah Williams and wants to extend him instead of just waiting for free agency, because he's not like trading for Jonah Williams. Not like you can't get a guy like that in free agency.
Well, the experiment
it doesn't make sense for anybody to trade for him. So you're pretty much stuck unless you want to take him at a loss.
Yeah, so
the Rams might take him. I don't know. Might have to dangle that out there. Oh, they don't have any draft picks. Never mind. Sorry, Rams.
Well, they have a second this year. But anyway, the thing with Jonah, I remember coming out of the draft that they were thinking that he might be more of a guard in the NFL than a tackle. And then when he played left tackle, he was okay at the beginning. Obviously, he played better early in his career than now. The question is, if you put him in guard, will he
No
then
shot he's changing.
See,
the guard.
that's the weird part, Sonny, is we just drafted Cordell Volson this year, who's been really good, better than Jonah at guard, or just better than Jonah as a lineman this year. And then we just signed Kappa, right guard, and then we already had Teddy Karras at center, maybe right tackle. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Lyell is still going to come back next year, but that's the only way. Like, unless they were to bench Lyell or something like that, I just don't see how they're going to make it.
They're
work.
just going to have to put him out there left tackle, and if he gets benched, he gets benched. Like, it's just going to be a thing.
Yep, exactly.
Jeremy here says the rest choke in Super Bowl 56, not Joe Burrow, Logan Wilson, PI was BS. And then
that was one of those. Nah, that's Cooper, right? That's Cooper.
That's Cooper Rush, yeah. Joe had 1 for 20 and 2 turnovers and only needed 3 to tie. Those are the moments that make you great. Montana Brady made it happen. Can't be great if you don't win.
Oh, he's gonna win, bro.
Why do we forget that Tom Brady has not won multiple Super Bowls?
Minimum.
Like, why do we act like he's Jordan, where he won all 6 of them that he was in? Why do we do this? Why do we do it? We just why do we act like Tom Brady never had notable failures at the Super Bowl? Like, why do we do this?
He has the most, right? Like,
yeah, but you know what I mean? He's also like we did go, you can't be Tom Brady if you lose in the Super Bowl. Yes, you can. Tom Brady lost in the goddamn Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning lost as well.
Peyton Manning, yeah. Well, Peyton Manning wasn't great.
I did see. Look, now, see, that's the problem. We done elevated Tom Brady so much that Sonny done made that face when somebody brought up Tom Brady. And people don't forget. People forget Peyton Manning's entire career, for like most of his career, people were like, "No, Peyton's clearly better than Tom Brady."
He was until the playoffs.
He beat him a couple times.
So he went to 3 Super Bowls. He lost 2, right? Peyton. Yeah, I was celebrating.
No, he won. He won 2. He won 2. He won 1 in Indy, and he won 2. He lost 1. He only lost 1, I think, in Denver, right?
No, and he lost.
He lost that Seahawks championship. That was the one they got blown out in.
And he lost to the Saints. That was the Drew Brees Super Bowl.
Oh, was he in that one?
Oh, he did. Hold on, he did.
Oh, he's
so he
2-2.
lost twice.
Yeah, he lost to Drew Brees. I celebrated that Super Bowl because I was a Manning hater here.
And Eli Manning is 2-0. So
2-0, yeah.
The GOAT. You know what I mean?
Talk about a mid quarterback.
I remember when Eli saw that Peyton was about to win his second Super Bowl, when they zoomed in on him, and he was looking like he had this panic, worried look on his face.
Dude,
he was like, "Come on, Peyton, throw that interception."
Like, you're supposed to be happy for your brother.
Throw that quick slant. I know you want to, Peyton. Come on, do it.
Dude, and Eli's making the Hall of Fame, which is disgusting.
Oof.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Oh,
thank Tom Brady for that. All the Tom Brady accomplishments y'all want to put out there, his failures are the only reason we're going to put Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame.
Made Nick Foles a champ too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lost to Nick Foles. Like that. Why do we act like that did not happen? He lost to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. We just act like it didn't, to the point where I forgot. I legitimately forgot that happened. That happened. He lost to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. We act like it didn't happen, but Joe Burrow can't lose in the Super Bowl one time by 2 points. Yo, come on, y'all. Come
on. Okay, Animatrix here says, so if Cincinnati gets the Super Bowl, how will Cincinnati afford a 2 Super Bowl QB if Baltimore can't afford Lamar?
Because Cincinnati ain't about to be cheap about their money like Baltimore is. Baltimore can afford Lamar. They just being cheap.
Year 4 or 5. We're doing it right now.
We're not messing around.
I'm pretty sure, because a lot of Bengals forget, Mike Brown was the first person to make the $100 million quarterback with Carson Palmer. He's probably going to do another 10-year contract, similar to Pat Mahomes, something like that. It'll seem like a lot of money now, but in 5 years, it'll probably be a discount.
And it will be restructured when it becomes a discount to become a current account of what he should be making.
Anyway, guys, we'll be back this week previewing Chiefs Bengals. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell. Also, leave comments and hit that like. We appreciate everybody here. We will see y'all next time.